Macumba, voodoo. Granddaddy was a priest in Trinidad. He said, when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the mall, the shopping mall. And he's quite specific. He meant the Monroeville Mall in Pennsylvania. Yes. Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Yeah, the Monroeville Mall. The scene of all the carnage in George A. Romero's 1978 seminal iconic zombie masterpiece, Dawn of the Dead. The first sequel to the equally iconic and seminal masterpiece, Night of the Living Dead. A shrine to consumerism. Why do they keep on coming here? They don't know. They just know they need to be in here. I've misquoted that, but you know what I mean. Packed with the zombies. And of course our heroes have to fight to clear the zombies out. The zombies just want to keep on coming back because they are blind consumerism writ large. America literally devouring itself. The mall, a huge symbol to consumerism. What's happening to the Monroeville Mall right now? Why am I talking about it? Well, the news back end of last year that someone was going to buy the Monroeville Mall, the real Monroeville Mall, which has been going strong ever since. It's built in 1969, I think, and of course 77, 78 we get Dawn of the Dead. Put the place on the map. I think for quite a while it was, I could be wrong about this, it was the biggest mall in the US, I think. JCPenney's was there. It's only got 2 floors, but JCPenney's was on both floors. Escalators, an ice rink. Oh my god, everything you can imagine. In the movie, it's got a gun store as well. In reality, no gun store was there. You don't get gun stores in shopping malls. You get sporting goods stores, which might have some form of weaponry and firearmage in there, but not to the degree you see in Dawn of the Dead, which is a gun lover's paradise. Oh my god. But the film is magnificent. The setting is magnificent. And the set is still there because it's a real living, breathing building, which George Romero had permission for all his contacts with the Leighton Image Group and Image 10 and all the private investors that he knew, because he did a lot of promotional movies, industrial, commercial movies, and of course things like Night of the Living Dead, Martin, Season of the Witch and The Crazies. So he was a pretty influential figure in the whole Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania, enclave. So yeah, he was allowed to go and film in the real life Monroeville Mall. Obviously not where the shoppers are there. That would have been quite disconcerting. Heads getting blown apart, intestines being unspooled from unruly bikers. But he filmed after the stores all shut at about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock and filmed throughout the night. It proved a bit difficult when they reached Christmas time because all the Christmas deckies were up all over the place. They had to take them down. Otherwise all that continuity errors would have ensued. But they persevered, and the movie is a landmark in the genre. And of course, it made a cultural icon out of the Monroeville Mall. It's a mecca for not just zombie movie lovers and George Romero devotees, but for anyone who just loves movies that have become such a cultural zeitgeist. So people travel from all over the world in their multitudes on a pilgrimage to see the Monroeville Mall. A lot of it still looks the same. I've never been there. I have not been there. It's on my bucket list. I'm going to have to move it up the bucket list if the news I'm going to give you really does turn out to be bad news. But I'd love to see it. And look, the ice rink's still there. A lot of the restaurants and there's a lot of stores, JCPenney's obviously, is still there. But over the decades, they've added more to it. It's become a much bigger premises. They've now got like a 12-screen Cineworld theatre in there or something like that anyway. Some kind of multiplexes in there. And other bits outside and added to, bolted on. But the basic layout is still the same. The escalators, the different floors. They've added railings and perhaps polished up a bit. Probably still got a few blood smears all over the place. And you have a Living Dead museum in there with a big statue of Gory George himself. And in there you have props and merch and memorabilia from not just George Romero's zombie movies, but all zombie films. And of course, every year you have the Living Dead weekend, where people, again from all over the world, in their droves and legions come shambling up dressed as zombies, and they fill the place. And you obviously had cast members have been there doing signings and cameo guest appearances, and it's been going strong for ages and ages. Well, so what's the rumpus then, Kilty? What's the rumpus? News came that someone was going to buy it at the back end of last year, 2024, and then on, I think, December. When is it now? January 31st of 2025. It was announced by Cyprus Equities of, I think they're from Dallas, not Cyprus, as it turns out, that it's been bought to an anonymous buyer for the princely sum of 34 million of your American dollars. But who bought it? Well, this company, Cyprus Equities, they're the ones who are going to oversee any renovations and bulldozing or wrecking ball stuff, any revamping. They're the ones who are going to be doing it. But who are they doing it for? Well, a couple of weeks afterwards, amidst tons of speculation, it was revealed on February the 16th of this year, it was Walmart. Well, you could knock me down with a feather. Big surprise, Walmart, one of the biggest corporate bloody monsters the world's ever known, have bought it. So why is that a worry? I mean, I think over its years, from 69 till now, it has been bought and sold a couple of times, well, probably many more times than that, but with no real issues. But with Walmart, I think everyone's concerned that they're really going to do some damage to it without caring, realising about its cultural significance. In the UK, we have listed buildings. They tend to be the likes of castles and churches, cathedrals, factories, mills, that sort of thing. They've been there for centuries, and they're cultural, they're historical, they're significant, and they're looked after. You can't touch them. In America, you have something similar. I'm not sure how you quantify it in America, but this, as I've been told, the Monroeville Mall actually fits the criteria of a sort of landmark building that should be preserved for its cultural significance. Why? Because of its Dawn of the Dead. Its connection to one of the greatest horror movies ever made, one of the most influential of movies ever made. There's been other films have been filmed there, other TV shows. It's in literature. Stephen King brought it into Christine as well. So it's covered everything. All it needs is a bloody musical to be set in there, and I bet they'll think of that now. But Walmart, do they care about that? Well, to them it's just it's a meal ticket, it's another cash cow, another tendril to their vast empire. Are they going to we're going to sort of enlarge it, we're going to keep what's already there, and we're just going to build more? Or are they going to stay true to what they've done in the past with a big wrecking ball and take it down and then rebuild it in their own image? I mean, they'd be dumb to do so, because what is Dawn of the Dead? It's about the zombies coming back to the shrine of consumerism, which is what Walmart want. So even after you're dead, you still want to come back and spend your money with us. So they should be celebrating it. Who knows? They may well do that. They may keep the Living Dead Museum, maybe even expand it, an even bigger statue of Gory George. They may do that. But a lot of people have got a lot of fears about this. They could just destroy the whole thing, rebuild it, relocate it, just do whatever. Turn it into a hotel for illegal immigrants? No, not with Trump in charge. Not with Trump's administration. That would never happen. That would happen in the UK, but it won't happen in America. But it should be preserved. People go there. Obviously, it's a lifeline to a lot of people in that area. I'm not sure how far. Is it sort of 80 miles east of Pittsburgh itself? I could be wrong about that as well. See, I've not been there, so I don't know. I would love to go there, especially during the Living Dead weekend, the big festival. So I'm not sure when the deadline is. I mean, they bought it now, but how long has it got to exist in its current form before they start doing stuff to it? And I think the latest news I saw, which is only about a few days ago, there are still no plans have been issued for it. but there is still a great fear. So Fangoria and other horror luminaries have tried to get people to sign a petition to keep and preserve at least as much of the original Monroeville Mall as possible, and especially, you know, the Living Dead Museum and the George Romero Shrine and all that, and to keep that sort of idea and ideology going, because you could have people aren't dressed up as zombies, just walk in there and shamble around and pour at the plexiglass doors and all that. No, they're going to buy stuff while they're there. So it's all money, money, money. You can't possibly lose by having legions of the undead coming back to shop there. That's the whole point of the movie. So there is a change.org sort of thing and a petition which you can sign. And I'm going to put the link below in the big descriptive part below this, so you can click on that. Now I did it, I've signed it, and you may be a bit shocked when you get it, because there's like a pledge thing as well, and I'm like, what? I want to do this, but I haven't got any money. I'm skint. The deadheads have more money than I do. They've got more income. I don't have any income at all. So you can pledge. I've forgotten now. I did it the other day. It's either $8 or $3. It's not exactly a lot, is it? But you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that to get your name, you know, on that roster. You can just share the link to it, put it on your social media. I put it on my Facebook page, just planted it there. But you can send it to a friend and do all this, get them to sign, and that's how it grows. What kind of impact it'll have, I don't know. As I say, this could all be, you know, a big storm in a teacup, because Walmart may not even be remotely bothered about, no, we're not going to change anything. What we're going to do is add to it. Well, we've got a 12 screen cinema there. Well, we're going to put another 12 screens in there. We're going to have 24 screens. We're going to put an IMAX part to it as well. We're going to do this. We're going to have a swimming pool there. We're going to have an undead shooting gallery. They could work in its favour. They could actually want to promote it. But their track record isn't particularly grand. Buying up other chains and franchises, other properties, other buildings, and just twisting and turning them, or just like, look, we're going to flatten this, we're going to pancake it and put a great big car park on it. They've done all sorts in the past. So, cheers, y'all. I'm going to try and drink that before it goes cold, but my mistake is it's already going cold. I'm playing the glorious soundtrack to Dawn of the Dead. You're hearing goblins, bits and bobs here, but of course I've got all the double library music, Jack Tromby and all that, and tons of other stuff that George Romero loved to use. He loved his library tracks, and the great thing about watching a film like Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead is hearing all these bits of music which has become iconic to us fans. But then you see other TV shows and you go, hang on, that's from Dawn of the Dead, because it's a library track. It's a composer did it, and it's been lodged in a library which can be used by different TV studios and companies and producers for whatever productions they've got going. And Romero could just pick and choose. Oh, Goblin did some great stuff for this, which you can hear, but it is the library stuff which I love most of all. But so you're going to hear that in the background. I'm going to move on to the library stuff actually, which you'll recognise. But it is a cultural, it's a bastion of cinematic, legendary culture. Dawn of the Dead is in the American depository of classic movies. I forget what it's called, but you know what I mean. It's recognised for its artistic and socio-political qualities, how it impacted on a genre and also on a generation and then another generation. This is what makes a movie a masterpiece, its longevity. Things can be very dated, of course, but their themes, their issues, their other qualities can transcend all that. And Dawn of the Dead, without a doubt, does that. Now, I'm going to turn it down a bit. I turned it up a bit too loud. Obviously, in recent years, not so much recent years, recent decades, people have gone like, well, They love Dawn of the Dead. That's my favourite. But now, there's a big swing shift to Day of the Dead. And I myself, who I adore well, apart from Survival of the Dead, no one could possibly like that movie. Nobody can. Diary is innovative because it is the found footage genre, and Romero couldn't resist dipping his toes into that. I hate the found footage, but I think he did it pretty well. It's just not a very good film. But Land of the Dead, I think, is great. No one sings its praises at all. They just don't. It's action-packed, it's gory as hell, tons of characters, tons of incidents, and it moves the evolution of the zombies on another step with Eugene Clark as Big Daddy. And it's great. He leads an army. They go underwater, for God's sake. It's great. But Night, Dawn and Day are the seminal classics. Now, the guy in charge of the Living Dead event, he has said that, look, if we lose this place, then I'll move it closer to where they film Night of the Living Dead. And I've forgotten the name of the place now. And I've covered it a lot as well, but hey, the grey cells, they're dwindling. Whiskey takes them out at almost a multitude with each gulp of whiskey. But he could relocate it. So he said, look, it doesn't, at the end of the day, our event will not die. Our shrine and our reverence to George Romero and the Dead movies will not die. We'll just relocate it, but we shouldn't have to. So I think he's actually in talks with the people, the inside men at Walmart. Let's do a deal. Trump likes deals. Get Trump involved. Trump has now mentioned about having American-produced movies being made abroad because of tax incentives. That's not helping America, according to Trump. He's just said this. He's going to put a tariff on movies that are made abroad. Not realising the full ramifications of that. Because if you start charging for movies which are made abroad because of the locations that they might need to use, and the cast and crew are then equipped in the UK or in Europe somewhere, they're better, we can use it there, we can make our film there, but now you're going to slap a tariff on us. Where's that going to end up? With you and me and the ticket prices, and things will be shoved onto streaming even all the more. It'll be the death knell of cinemas. But he doesn't see that. No. Trump is hell-bent on making his name in history, rightly or wrongly, and I'm afraid mostly wrongly. A lot of things he says and does I kind of agree with, but a lot of things he says and does I totally do not agree with. The guy is a complete Looney Tune, an absolute enigma, and it was only a matter of time before he turned his attention on the movie industry and Hollywood itself. He was bound to do it, and now he has. But whether he makes it happen or not, the thing about these tariffs, they haven't all come into action, and he lays it on the table, and it's demonstrative, it's satanic, and it's power and magnitude. But he knows, well, I'm going to set it here, but you're going to have to negotiate, and then we're going to come down here, maybe even down here. And he knows that he's a businessman first and foremost, not a politician. So this Hollywood tariff thing, that may not happen. All the heads of studios are not going to bow down to that, I'm sure. It'd be the death knell for him. Anyway, a political side swipe there, but not completely out the blue, because Romero's films took in a socio-political stance as well. And the very fact that he used the Monroeville Mall to tell a story about the undead going back to the shopping mall because we've all become blinded by our need to buy, spend, obey. John Carpenter there as well. And we're all slaves to consumerism. That is what his point was. All dressed up in a comic book, lurid, gruesome, nasty zombie movie. But all his films have a social relevance. And that's the great way of getting a point across, isn't it always? You sneak it under the radar, so you get masses of people in there to watch your movie, to buy your movie on all the physical media and stream it and download it, whatever these days. And you're just watching for the gore and the fun and the excitement, but there's a message which is leaking in there as well. It's You know, you haven't got to be massively, you know, I'm in tune with what this director's saying, what his vision is, what his themes are, his subtext, his metaphor. You haven't got to be like that. Even the popcorn munching minions. Why have you done that? Oh, my phone. It still bleeds into their consciousness as well. So a clever filmmaker can do this without actually having to hammer you over the head with it, you know. But the Monroeville Mall, let's keep it, preserve it as much as it actually is, as it stands right now. Don't take things down. Add to it if necessary. Just do that. Bring in new stores. It has, I wrote this down, 180 stores there. 180. Which I thought must be more than that, surely. But when you think that some of these stores are really big, you know, like JCPenney's has its own escalators. It's vast. And of course, it's a battlefield. In that movie, you've got the craziest battle scenes you can imagine. You know, a quartet of heroes. One of them is in a wheelbarrow, and they're blasting zombies down the concourse and all that. Then you get a horde of bikers coming in with Tommy guns and that, blasting away. They've got great big sledgehammers and all sorts. They're smashing the place to bits. They're putting custard pies in zombies' faces. And then you get the battle. And here's the great moment. Stephen, Flyboy. He's there. He's there. My favourite zombie of all time. Who does absolutely fuck all in the movie when he's a zombie. Well, he doesn't kill anyone, doesn't bite anyone, but he does lead the zombies to the hidden hidey hole where our heroes are holed up. And they've closed it all off, barricaded it, put a fake facade there. But he knows, and there's the point again, the evolution of the zombies. The zombies are all going to the mall because they remember that they want to be there for whatever reason, but this was an important place in their lives, so they just want to be back here. He remembers that, hang on, yeah, I forget why we did it, but there's something down that corridor, and if I start nibbling at this fake wall here, and all the zombies have kind of, he knows something. The zombies like a leader, so they follow him, and of course that's how the film ends. But so it's utterly brilliant. Custard pie battle with the I'm gonna say what he said, because Peter Ken Faree, SWAT team superstar, says you know, like, look, just stay out of sight. They're after the place, they don't care about us. He thinks the bikers won't stay. The bikers are nomads. They'll keep surviving on the road throughout all this thing. So they'll move on. They'll wreck the place because that's what bikers in movies do. They're just anarchists. They destroy, but they'll take whatever they want and then they'll get out. And then our boys will have to go and clear the zombies, which they've let in again, clear all the zombies out again. But they can do that. So it's just stay calm, stay out of sight. They don't care about us. They just want the place. But Stephen can't take it, and he's like, "It's ours. We took it. It's ours." So he starts taking pot shots at the bikers, and like Peter's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake! All right, Flyboy. Now we've got a battle on our hands," you know. So you have this crazy battle with the bikers in the middle of a glistening, gleaming shopping mall. Only Romero could have come up with that. Night of the Living Dead, an isolated farmhouse in the middle of nowhere in stark black and white photography. Then you get this in comic book lurid colour and a blood palette, which Thomas Savini himself admits got the mix wrong there. And it looks like melted Crayola. Red and orange Crayola, but it's still great. We still love it. Innovative effects, gore aplenty. It's brilliant. So we don't have shopping malls in this country. We have, well, we do. We don't call them shopping malls. We call them supermarkets and shopping centres. But all my life, ever since seeing Dawn of the Dead, I've gone into a big shopping centre and I've thought, generator, is it down below? Elevators, escalators, right, what stores are here? I'm thinking exit strategies. In time of apocalypse, do we come in through the roof or do we come in through the front? Or do we burrow underneath? How are we going to get in here? How are we going to hold it up? How are we going to protect the place? How many do we need to hold it? How long is the food going to last? Have they got any widescreen TVs? That was back in the 80s. Have they got widescreen TVs? And I've told you before, I mean, I've discussed the entire George Romero movies many times. But me and my dad, big Kilt Papa, we were gun owners in the UK while it was still legal, and members of a shooting club as well, the Phoenix Shooters Association, and we were champions. My dad was a Bisley champion. He was an expert with a pistol and a rifle. He was massively blind in one eye, and not his good eye, and even his remaining eye got cataracts on. He was still an absolute marksman, and of course I took after him. And we used to watch Dawn of the Dead when it was. You can see the poster behind me there under the title of Zombies Dawn of the Dead, which is the UK title for it, which was cut down. Even we know there's multiple versions of Dawn of the Dead. The US theatrical unrated cut. Then you've got the Argento cut, and there's other fucking versions. But the UK cut had certain pivotal gore moments, highlights snipped out of it. But I very soon, at a very young age, managed to get hold of a full uncut copy from America. Yes, of the unrated theatrical cut. So me and my dad would sit and watch that. And my dad would have he'd have a 303 rifle with him. He'd have his Browning high power. I'd sit there with my Magnum 357. And shortly after the first years of watching it on home video, I managed to acquire a 9mm Beretta. And we'd sit there, me and my dad together. Especially when Peter's doing that with the crosshairs on his super gun. Into the crime. What? The only person who can miss with this gun is a sucker with the bread to buy it. You're out there, sissies. We're coming and we're ready. And the crosshairs. And every time that happened, we'd be going, whoa! And we'd fantasize about the end of the world. This sounds really grotesquely horrible, but me and him, being survivalists and military, we thought if it ever comes to it, we'd have to hold up in a place like that. We'd have to. There's food, there's energy, power, heating, everything's there at your disposal. But you've got to protect it, not just from the hordes of the undead, but as Romero's movies always made perfectly clear, the biggest enemy is always going to be other living people who are cruel, nasty, barbarous. The undead are just doing what they, in Romero's law, what they have to do. We have to eat. That's what we're driven by, an urge to eat. But we're dead. Don't get me started on that. If you're dead and you're eating someone, where's that fucking food going? You've got muscle action going there. You've still got blood pumping around you. If you're dead and you get shot, you shouldn't bleed. There'll be a bit of smearing, but you shouldn't be going with blood flying everywhere. The only reason that's going to happen is if your heart is beating. And if your heart's beating, that means your lungs are working. If your heart and lungs are working, then you're not dead. You're not dead. I know. I'd love to. People that always go, oh my God, yeah, you're right. Oh, and then I think, oh shit, I've ruined it for them now. Oh, what am I doing? Keep your big gob shut, Kilt-Man. But so my dad would be like, well, imagine it. We'd have to secure that area. How many people would we need, and who would we bring with us? I list off his best friends, all of whom were ex-forces, who knew how to handle weapons and build barricades, and survival was in their blood. It was great. So me and my dad kind of bonded over a zombie movie and high velocity weaponry as well. I miss those days. I watch Dawn of the Dead now, not very often, to be honest. I've seen it that many times that if I think about Dawn of the Dead, I'm seeing it playing out. I could watch it. I could lie in bed and can't sleep tonight. Oh, I know what? I'll watch Dawn of the Dead, and I can sit and just literally I could start the film in my own mind and watch it play out all the way through. Dialogue, editing, scene changes, ropey effects, all there. So, but I love the film. I think it is an absolute masterclass in comic book, socio-political, lurid excess, clever on so many levels, pure exploitation and excitement and enjoyment on many other levels, and it all comes together. A classic bunch of characters, who I absolutely adore, and a great soundtrack as well. Roger, get his head up, man. Roger, get his head up, man. Get it. And it blows the fucking zombie's face apart. And Roger gets covered in all the gore, like, kicks the body out, and then goes fucking metal. And that zombie comes up against the other cab window. Roger, no! Boom, boom, boom. Outstanding. Scott H. Reiniger's descent into well, madness really during the truck sequence where they're going to seal off all the main doors with big semis. Roger, you alright, Roger? Perfect, baby, perfect. He starts ploughing into zombies. You know, he's laughing. Oh shit! Oh, God damn it! My bag! What? I left my goddamn bag in the truck. I've got to go back and get his bag because he's hot wiring all the trucks. Peter just drives. He's driving Peter's driving Roger to all the different trucks, and then getting out of there. You get the next truck, and then we're going to drive back to seal off the entrance. He leaves his bag behind, and of course that's when Roger gets bitten on the arm and on the leg. Oh, and he ends up like that. I don't want to be walking around like that. Peter, yeah, I'm here, man, I'm here. Don't let me walk around like that. I'm gonna try not to come back. Oh, your heart just goes. It's just, oh, it's so tragic. And Flyboy. I still love when he turns around after they hit the elevator button and he's there, and they all go, oh, because he thinks there's a living person in there who can chow down on. He just goes, they go, oh, like that, and then he's got his gun rattling around on his finger. His leg's done in, he's been bitten all over the place, he's shambling around, but he leads them. But when he gets on the concourse and he turns, the balcony's behind him, and he turns down the corridor where they've got the hidden facade, and he just goes, ugh. But he turns, and that hole in his throat, even to this day, with glorious practical effects, which are better than what Thomas Savini could come up with his rudimentary kit. He's making all up on the, on the spare of the moment, a lot of the gore gags. And you got CG stuff now, of course, obviously. But even to this day, that gaping wound in his throat, I always go, oh, because it looks deep and it's glistening with dark blood. Oh, not shiny stuff. That's the dark stuff. You've gone deep on that one. Oh, dear God, I love it. Fantastic film. Save the Monroeville Mall. Save it. Don't let Walmart destroy it. If you can, if you're arsed enough, just join the what do you call it? A roster of signatures. Petition. That's the way I'm looking for. Sign your name on that petition. It's on. I think I looked just before. It wasn't particularly a huge number. I think it was like 1,300, something like that. Which doesn't seem like a great deal. So I'm trying to get the word out there. If you love Dawn of the Dead and you love shopping malls, this is the Mecca of all shopping malls. Even the dead shop there. Keep it alive and kicking. Walmart may have 1,001 different ideas for this site, this premises, and on track record, we probably aren't going to like what they've got in mind for it. You don't know. They may honour the whole thing already. That's why they want to buy it. Oh, they're going to make it into a big zombie theme park. They could do that. So long as you preserve the mall itself, because it's all have like zombie rides and stuff like that, and zombie-geddon sort of thing taking place. But people want to go in and walk the corridors and the concourse and the escalators and the elevators and the balconies of what they saw in the movie. So you can imagine that, we're going to preserve it, but we're going to make it even bigger and better, but we're going to knock it down first. Oh, that's not the point. You can make it bigger and better by adding to it, but leave the actual building itself and all the things we see in the movie, preferably. I know things would have been changed over the decades, of course, yeah, but they have kept the main layout is the same. You can walk around it and you can see, oh, they filmed this bit here, they filmed that bit there. Oh, this is, oh my God, yeah. Bax, Arco, Pitcairn, you know what I mean. And the Nun, oh God. Oh dear. Folks, Dawn of the Dead reigns supreme. You may choose day over it. Day I love, but it always felt quite a bit short for me, behind Dawn of the Dead at the time. But over the years, it has crept up, and I think I watch Day more than Dawn now, which I didn't expect to be the case, but that's the way it is. And yeah, if I can't sleep, I can actually watch Day of the Dead as well. If I really can't sleep at all, I'm totally, wide awake all night long, I could even do Night, Day and Dawn back to back in my own mind's eye. This has gone cold. Yeah, it has. So, zombies. You're bleeding, so your heart's pumping. You've got oxygen there, so your lungs are working as well. And you're eating, so you've got this insatiable hunger. As we see in Day of the Dead, even a severed head that's reanimated, it still wants to eat. You put your fingers in it, it's like, ah. What happens to the food when it goes through? So if you've got muscle action to take it down somewhere, where does it actually go? Do zombies have shits? There'd be little piles of zombie shit all over the place. Oh, it would stink, wouldn't it? The dead stink anyway, but bloody hell, it'd be the worst ever. Oh, God. Right, folks, have a think about this. This film means a lot to so many of us. Don't let a faceless demon corporation destroy what is a living, breathing shrine to a movie masterpiece. The potential is there to just destroy it and rebuild something else with no care about what went before, and the fact that it's such a cultural significance to so many millions of people. Don't let it happen, please. So folks, in the meantime, and it's ever like I'm really hungry now, in between time, please keep it Celtic, and I'm going to see you all I was going to quote Wooly there, the renegade SWAT team guy at the start. I best not.